The sun shone brightly over the small countryside village of Willowbrook, casting long shadows across the fields of wildflowers that stretched endlessly toward the horizon. In this idyllic village lived an 8-year-old girl named Lily. Lily was full of life, her laughter echoing through the hills as she spent her days exploring the wonders of the world around her. Her parents, Emma and Mark, often warned her not to venture too far into the forest that bordered their land. But Lily, with her boundless curiosity, loved the thrill of adventure. One particular afternoon, Lily skipped through the fields with her wicker basket, collecting daisies to weave into a crown. Her loyal dog, Max, trotted beside her, barking excitedly at every butterfly that fluttered past. The golden light of the late afternoon sun dappled the trees, and the forest beyond seemed more inviting than ever. Just a little peek, Lily told herself, her heart racing with the excitement of exploring the unknown. She tied Max to a tree near the forest's edge, promising to return soon. As she stepped into the cool shade of the woods, the world seemed to transform. The air was thick with the scent of pine, and the sound of chirping birds filled the air. She wandered deeper, her small feet crunching over fallen leaves and twigs. The deeper she went, the more enchanted she became. A family of deer darted across her path, their graceful movements leaving her awestruck. She spotted a stream glistening under the fading light and followed it, unaware of how far she had strayed from the path. By the time Lily realized she was lost, the sun had dipped below the horizon, and the forest had become an entirely different place. The cheerful chirping of birds was replaced by the eerie calls of night creatures, and the once warm air turned cold and biting. Lily's heart pounded as fear began to creep in. She called out for help, her voice trembling, but only the wind answered. She tried retracing her steps, but the forest seemed to shift around her, every tree and rock looking the same. Tears streamed down her face as she huddled under a large oak tree, clutching her basket tightly. She whispered softly, "Mama, Papa, please find me." Back at home, Emma and Mark realized Lily hadn't returned. Panic set in as they called for her around the house and the nearby fields. Max's frantic barking led them to the edge of the forest, where they found him still tied to the tree. The villagers quickly gathered with lanterns and torches, determined to search the forest for the missing girl. But the forest was vast, and the night was unforgiving. Unbeknownst to them, a wild horse named Spirit roamed the forest. Spirit was a magnificent creature, with a sleek black coat that shimmered like polished obsidian under the moonlight. He had lived in the woods for years, avoiding human contact but observing them from a distance. The villagers often spoke of Spirit as a ghostly guardian of the forest, appearing in times of need. That night, Spirit stood atop a hill overlooking the forest, his ears pricked and his eyes alert. Something had disturbed the peace of his home, and his instincts urged him to investigate. Spirit galloped through the trees, his powerful hooves striking the ground with purpose. He stopped suddenly, lifting his head to the wind. A faint sound reached his ears, a child's soft sobbing. Guided by an unexplainable force, Spirit followed the sound until he found Lily curled up beneath the oak tree. Her tear-streaked face lit up with a mixture of fear and wonder as the massive horse approached her. "Who are you?" Lily whispered, her voice trembling. Spirit lowered his head, his dark eyes meeting hers with an expression so gentle it seemed to speak. Slowly, Lily reached out her small hand and touched his nose. The warmth and strength she felt gave her a glimmer of hope. Spirit nudged her gently, urging her to stand. Though she was scared, Lily trusted him. She climbed onto his back, gripping his mane tightly. Spirit turned and began to navigate the dark forest with an uncanny sense of direction. He avoided the treacherous paths, leapt over fallen logs, and crossed streams with ease, all while carrying the exhausted girl safely. The journey was not without its challenges. At one point, Spirit paused, his ears twitching as a distant howl echoed through the forest. Lily clung to his neck, her tiny hands trembling. Spirit stood firm, his powerful frame a shield against the unknown dangers of the night. He seemed to wait, as if calculating the safest route, before continuing with renewed determination. As they crossed a narrow stream, the cold water splashed against Spirit's legs, but he carried on without hesitation, his focus unwavering. Meanwhile, the search party grew frantic as the hours passed with no sign of Lily. Emma clutched Mark's hand, her face pale with worry. "We have to find her," she whispered, her voice breaking. The villagers spread out, their voices calling into the darkness. Some carried makeshift torches, their flickering light casting eerie shadows on the trees. Others prayed silently, hoping for a miracle. As dawn began to break, casting a soft golden glow over the forest, Spirit emerged from the trees with Lily on his back. The villagers turned, their cries of worry transforming into gasps of disbelief. Emma and Mark ran toward their daughter, tears streaming down their faces as they embraced her tightly. Lily's small frame shook as she sobbed into her mother's arms, overwhelmed by relief and exhaustion. "Mama, Papa, I'm safe. The big horse saved me," Lily exclaimed, pointing toward Spirit. The villagers watched in awe as Spirit stood still, his dark eyes scanning the crowd. For a moment, it seemed as if he understood the relief and gratitude radiating from the people. Then, with a powerful neigh, he turned and galloped back into the forest, disappearing as mysteriously as he had appeared. Emma knelt beside her daughter, brushing back her tangled hair. "Thank you, Spirit," she whispered, her voice choked with emotion. Mark placed a protective arm around his family, silently vowing never to let Lily wander too far again. Lily's story spread throughout the village, and Spirit became a legend. Though no one could explain why the wild horse had come to her rescue, they all agreed it was nothing short of a miracle. Lily, now safe and sound, often stood at the edge of the forest, hoping to catch a glimpse of her guardian angel. She would leave small offerings of apples and flowers, whispering her gratitude into the wind. And though Spirit never showed himself again, Lily carried his memory in her heart as a reminder of the courage and kindness that can appear even in the darkest moments. She grew up telling the tale to her own children, ensuring that Spirit's legacy lived on. The villagers, too, continued to share the story, their voices filled with reverence and wonder. To this day, the villagers of Willowbrook tell the tale of the horse that saved a lost girl, a story that continues to inspire and remind them of the extraordinary bond between humans and animals. And in the quiet corners of the forest, where the sunlight filters gently through the trees, some say they still hear the faint echo of galloping hooves, a sign that Spirit is always watching, ready to protect when he is needed most.